This podcast episode is brought to you by The Cry Lounge. The Cry Lounge is an independent publishing company founded by this podcast's host, Bonnie Orbison. The Cry Lounge transfers your daydreams onto paper. With 2 book releases the past 2 years, they are preparing to extend their service to other authors and other creatives. To get more details and support this show, there's a link in the description you can check out. The Cry Lounge looks forward to meeting you. Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode, exactly the second episode of season 3 of Bonnie's Legends with me, Bonnie Orbison. This episode I had the honor interviewing Alves. What should I say about her? I am an absolute big fan of her. I have so much respect for what she's doing. My admiration for her is huge. So yeah, in this episode we talked mostly about his songwriting. Mostly about the songwriting process. We talked about her career as a musician. We talked about being an independent artist on her side and on my side, because I'm an independent author, if you don't know me, and my book, Follow Me, is out since 2 weeks, I think, and it's available on my website. So yeah, Alves and I had a wonderful, entertaining, it was kind of funny, we laughed a lot, hour where we just talked about hair, of course, and also about other things. So yeah. Fun fact about this episode, I would call it Interview with Emma Alves featuring her Spotify page. You will see what I mean if you listen to it. And yeah, have fun listening to it. And if you can't get enough of Emma and me, then there are 10 bonus questions that I asked her, but that you can find on the link in the description. And yeah. Have fun listening. Ladies and gentlemen, Emma Alves!
Yay, hi!
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I discovered you through your one TikTok. I know this,
yes.
Like, I interviewed once already a TikTok band, and they were like, these questions of TikTok are so annoying. How do you feel about it?
I mean, TikTok's like, it's pretty it's pretty relevant right now. So like, It's interesting to talk about, I think. Like, it's a point of interest, I think, for a lot of people. So yeah, I'm fine with them.
Okay. So yeah, I discovered you through this one TikTok that was on my For You page, and you kind of said like you wanna now independent artist, and then I was like, is there an independent author also? Okay, like hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how I got into you. And I have to say, I don't know, I admire you so much.
Aw, thank you. That's so sweet. Likewise. I mean, you're so like, this podcast is so amazing. Like what you're doing, like getting to know like these different artists, and like it's just so cool.
You're not one of them.
I'm honored.
Yeah, because I don't know, you do everything on your own. You're an independent artist. You get to like regularly post YouTube videos. Like I have so much admiration for you because I can deal with all this at the moment. So
Yeah, I mean, understandably, like I totally get that. Like it's sometimes I'm just like I need to take a break from social media. Like it's just too
yes,
much. But
yeah.
yeah,
How would you describe yourself? Because in season 1 and 2, like already told you, I want to change a lot of things in season 3,
mhm.
and I kind of realized that the people, like the legends I interview, would describe themselves differently as I would describe them. So I want
Right.
you to describe yourself in like 2, 3 sentences or something.
Interesting. I think I am quirky. I'm quirky and I feel like I'm like quirky, but like in a good way, I guess. I don't know. And and I'm very like motivated, I think, or I can be, despite like days with lack of motivation. Like I think I'm persistent. Like I like do, you know, like you said, I like do everything myself. So like I think I have to have a little motivation to like do that. But yeah, that's it. That was way more than 2 or 3 sentences, but
When did you start making music? Like when did you discover the magic of music?
from when I was really, really young. Like when I was like probably like 7 or 8, I want to say I started writing like my own songs about like fairies and like magic and like whatnot. And my dad was always super interested in music and like playing all these different instruments. So we had them like around the house like all the
Okay.
time. So I just like picked up on them. And then just kind of like evolved and like spiraled into what it is now.
That sounds so cool.
Yeah, no, it was really like a blessing. Like I'm thankful for like the privilege that I had, like having all these like instruments in the house and like just being able to do um yeah, just being able to do that.
Oh, your dad sounds cool.
He would be very flattered that you think that.
At the beginning of your sentence, I thought like, yeah, you tell that your dad listens to a lot of music, but like that he actually had a lot of instruments. I was like, wow,
Yeah, yeah, he mainly the drums. Like we had like a big drum set like in our basement. So, yeah.
crazy. But can you play drums?
I could play like one simple beat, but that's about it. That's my knowledge of drums.
But it kind of looks easy to play, doesn't it?
Like the basics I feel like are really not that difficult. You just kind of like, but like then like the people who are like really good at like reading like drum sheet music and like all that stuff, like that's, I don't know, that looks hard to me.
Yeah. Yeah. When did it like, oh, by the way, I have to tell you that you said now like you wrote the 7 like fairy songs or something, but like you give fairy vibes. Can I tell you that?
Thank you. That's like the best compliment ever.
I don't even know why. I just every time I looked at your videos, I was like, she looks like a fairy. Like,
Sometimes I put on those little like elf ears, so maybe that's why. Have you seen those?
maybe.
Okay, well, subconsciously.
Um, yeah. And when did music become professional for you? Like, when was the moment you knew this is gonna be yours?
Hmm. I think I always like had this idea from when I was young that I would like always do music, if that makes sense. But like when I was 16, I had one of my parents' friends approach me, and he was kind of like this entrepreneur business guy, and he was like, let's do like an album, let's like make some music videos, blah blah blah. So that's kind of when it like took the step from just being like an idea to like actually something concrete that's like achievable. So that was cool, yeah.
And your parents' friend was like in the music industry or totally?
Somewhat, yeah. He was somewhat in the music industry. He had like one other band that he was working with that actually had like a decent amount of success, like in Japan. They were big in Japan, so that was cool. Yeah.
That sounds cool. Like,
Right? Yeah.
yeah. It does.
I'm pretty sure
And
they went there to like tour and stuff, which is really cool.
the album you talked about, is that Every Dreamer or was
Yes.
that? Oh, I
You
didn't.
know your facts.
So, so you did Every Dreamer of 16.
Yeah, I was 16, yeah.
So you were my age.
You're only 16?
I'm yeah, I'm 16.
Really? Wow. You seem so like mature and like, wow, that's
I
I
know.
would have never known.
So you were 16 when you did Every Dreamer, and
Yes.
I know, I read on your Spotify page. Notifications are coming. That you like the new album you want to do, or the next album you want to do it on your own. Did you work with somebody for Every Dreamer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So that those the business entrepreneur guy and then the other artist that he worked with, they kind of helped me with this album. So he did his other artist did a lot of the production stuff and the recording stuff, and then I just kind of I brought my songs that I had and then I sang them, obviously, and we kind of just like collaborated.
That sounds cool. That sounds cool.
It was really cool. Yeah, it was a cool experience.
I haven't listened to it yet, but like thought about myself, like if somebody's reading a book I wrote like 2 years ago or something, like obviously you can buy it now, but like I don't know, I would feel like a little bit, I don't know, how do you feel about like it's now 6 years ago, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow.
Or 7, was it? 2014.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that's time flies. Holy moly. That's crazy.
So how do you feel when people still listen to your album? Is it an embarrassing feeling, or is it
A little bit. Like I would prefer them to listen to my new stuff, but like anybody who listens, like I'm appreciative, of course. There's this one song in particular though. It's not from that album. It's from like a different project that I did. It's called If It Was You, and for some reason people love that song. Like it just keeps randomly getting these streams, so I'm like, stop, I hate that song so much, please stop. But Every Dreamer is like, it's fine. Like I think it's like a good piece of like, it's a good project, so yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I already told you that I'm so impressed by how you write your songs on your own. You produce them, you record them, and do you also mix and master them, or does somebody else do that for you?
So I mix them, and then I use this like AI software online that you just like upload your track to, and it like masters it like basically through like an AI like technology kind of thing, and then you just, yeah, it takes like half an hour. Yeah.
Okay. Every other like sound engineer will be like, oh, that's how she's mastering her songs.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, it's like the easiest thing for me, so I just do that. It's probably not the best like quality or whatever, but oh well.
Yeah, but like I get it when people like I had so many songwriters and producers in my podcast, and when they say like mixing is such a, like such a complicated thing, I understand that, but like what is mastering? Like I don't get it. Like isn't it a mixing? Like
it's like taking, from my understanding, like I don't really master my own stuff, so it's like taking the track or like the different like stems of each track and like just like adjusting the volume and like compressing the entirety of the track, and, like adjusting like the mids and the highs and the lows, and that's what I think it is.
But isn't that mixing? Like
I don't know. I think mastering is just like a one more like kind of like cohesive, whereas mixing is kind of like doing like each like individual,
like closing the packaging maybe.
Yeah, like tying the bow, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. How did it happen that you do it all now by yourself?
So when I was working with my previous like people that like helped me and stuff, I would eventually I started to like make my own demos like on my laptop. So essentially I was kind of doing the groundwork of producing and recording, but I didn't really realize that's what I was doing. So like later on down the road, my skills just kind of like evolved and like got better, and I was just like, oh, I can do this. It's fine. Like I can figure it out. So yeah, And then I took a course at like an online course at Berkeley recently, and then that just kind of like tied the little bow.
Yeah, or like all these master classes, they're like
Yeah.
now coming up. I'm like, wow, like you don't have to study, you can just take classes.
Right? Yeah. Online learning is like, I'm sure it's like hard for a lot of people right now, like during the pandemic, but I
Yeah.
feel like it can be a good thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always like my plan B. If like studying doesn't happen to me, then I'm taking master classes.
Yeah. There you go. Perfect.
Do you think doing it all by yourself has something to do with being an independent artist?
I mean, yeah, because like I think it's like it's all from my mind. So like if I like have like an idea for a vibe or something like that, like I can execute it like all myself versus like if I had like a team, I would have to like perhaps like present the idea and have like everybody on board and like if that makes sense. So like it's definitely it goes hand in hand, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's pretty comparable to like working with a publisher and self-publishing on your own.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong though, people that are like independent can like hire like different people to do like different jobs and like still get an amazing outcome, I'm sure. But you know, to each their own.
Yeah. Um, what does it mean for you being an independent artist?
Hmm.
Like, how does being an independent artist feel like? What emotions do you connect with it?
Interesting. I think it's a very personal thing for me because I align my music so closely with like my personal like thoughts and feelings and like it's like a little diary like I said. So like being able to like kind of wrap all this stuff that goes into like being an artist and just it's like I'm taking this like huge chunk of like my heart and just being like, here you go. It's for you. Listen to it. Enjoy it. Like now it's out of my hands and the world can like receive it and I can start on something else. So like that's kind of what it means to me, I guess.
Oh, that sounds cute. That sounds
Thanks.
cute. Um, do you wish sometimes it would be different, like you would be a signed artist or something?
Sometimes, yeah. It's just a lot of work. So I feel like sometimes I'm like, just somebody else do all this. Like I don't feel like doing it all today. But yeah, sometimes. But I do enjoy like just like doing it all myself too. So
Yeah, and I think the end result is like if you have like I don't know, for me it's like if I'm having my printed book in my hands, I'm like, oh my God, I made it. Like all the hours
exactly.
paid off. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you like it's something tangible. Like you're like, I made this, like, you know.
Like,
Yeah.
look at
That's
this.
awesome.
I made this.
Yeah, look.
They're saying that it's sometimes hard. Would you consider um getting signed under a label in the future?
I never want to say no. I
Mm-hmm.
never want to say like never, but I think moving forward, and if I were to gain more like popularity and whatnot, I would probably just hire like individuals to do certain things. Like maybe I
Yeah.
would hire like a booking agent or um like a you know like a promoter or something like that. Just as an example, to do like those kind of things. But I'm not sure that I would jump for the opportunity to like it would have to be a really good offer, you know, for me to be like, okay, I'll sign to your label.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, what would be like I guess you're like kind of like looked up labels or something. Like what would be your favorite label to get signed under?
My favorite label. I mean, the big. I don't really like the bigger labels. Like I prefer like some of the smaller
Yeah.
some of the smaller like Vancouver labels or like just like within like each city. I think those are like a little more like um they understand a little bit more.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel you. So
Yeah.
some more local, like little ones.
Yeah. I think those ones have like character.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
that's true. So when I texted you about what do you want to talk about, You said you want to talk about being a woman in a male-dominated industry, and
Mm-hmm.
I completely understand you because like the book industry is also like I don't know, but like I have the feeling like every big industry is kind of, or like every industry is kind of male-dominated. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. Like thinking about that, I was like, not only the book or the music industry, like also the film industry, and then I was kind of like collecting all these industries, and I was like, these are all male-dominated.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about being a woman in a male-dominated industry?
Um, I love it. We need way more women in all industries, like you said.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's just something, okay, this is gonna sound so cheesy, but there's just something so magical about like the female voice, like a female vocalist in comparison to a male. Like the majority of the artists I listen to are all female.
Mm.
I just feel I'm proud to like represent such like a magical and like versatile like industry and like art piece like as a whole within like female artists. So yeah, that's why I like tend to like support women a lot more than I do the men in
Yeah.
the industry.
But yeah, I just thought about that a lot. And I was like, I don't know, but like, do you know Mark Ronson?
Yes.
Yes. So he did Late Night Feelings, and all the women he collaborated with were women.
Okay.
And he got asked why, and he was like, yeah, I don't know. That was not planned like that, but I don't know. Late Night Feelings is a breakup album. So he said, I hope I quote him right now. He said, like, female voices of female singers can better get emotional in their songs. They can bring the emotion better to the listener, like a male or something. I
Interesting.
really like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that was true.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think
Like, I
so.
could not imagine having a male singer on Late Night Feelings. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's just not the same vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. So that kind of reminded me what you said, and I just
Nice. That's
bring
so
it into
funny.
it. Yeah. So, what do you wish for the future? Like, like do you want that there are equal rights of men and women in the industries, or do you kind of say like, I don't know, you think the future won't change that much?
I think it would be extremely optimistic for me to say that the industry is going to change, maybe even in our lifetime, to complete equality,
Yeah.
or yeah, equality. But I'm hopeful that like we'll start to like respect more women in the industry, I think, and
Yeah.
just like realize like their strengths and stuff like that. Like Mark Ronson was saying, like that's a great way to like do it, just like showcase all these like women and female
Yeah.
artists. And yeah, it's getting there slowly but surely.
But I think like, I don't know, it's like also the like music producers, there are not many female music producers, are there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like the amount of like female artists compared to male artists is so small, but like you take that a step further and go like male versus female songwriters and male versus female like producers, like the people behind the scenes, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
even fewer, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm talking to one.
So am I.
Um, yeah, like I don't know, but like is this I don't know. I just think that, I saw like on Women's Day, I saw a lot of male music producers posting on TikTok, for example, female producers they liked. And
Interesting.
they kind of blowed up. I really liked that. But I was like
Yeah.
wishing somebody would like blow you up.
That's so sweet.
Like I
Aw.
think two or three were like kind of blowing up. I think it was Diplo who did that. Like
Oh, okay,
Diplo
very
was like
cool.
stitching to their music videos or something. Like reacting
Yeah,
to it.
yeah, like
Yeah.
duetting or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And like free I follow music videos as he was doing that. And I was just like, oh maybe Emma. But he did not.
That's so sweet. Yeah, I don't think they've ever heard of me.
Maybe the manager will tell like, oh, you got mentioned in this episode, maybe you should listen to it, and then they kind of get into
Yeah,
you.
exactly. That's the goal.
Okay. Yeah. So what would be in general musicians you would love to work with? Like obviously we know in our Tame Impala.
Obviously. I really like SZA, of course. I really like Blue de Tiger right now. Have you heard of it? Yeah, I love like the heavy bass.
Yes.
So good. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Amazing. Who else? I like Donia. I don't know if you've heard of her. J. Cole is amazing. Let's see. Serena Isioma is good. Summer Walker. There's so many people. Tinashe, Victoria Monet. Oh, Victoria Monet. I love her. I was in that video. But those are just a few.
Okay, I'm curious.
Yes.
Because I read on your Spotify page that you recorded or you created in Tokyo or Archenemy in 9 to 5. And I was like, but you're currently in Vancouver. Like, how did that happen?
Yep. So basically, I had planned this trip to Japan. I was going to be there for 6 months to a year. And my plane ticket or the plane was booked 1 week after COVID like blew up like all over like news medias and stuff like that. And it was actually like considered a problem. So I was like, well, hopefully this dies down. Like I'm still going to go. I'm not going to waste my $2,000 ticket or whatever it was. So it probably wasn't that much. So I went and I only ended up staying there for 2 months. But while I was there, I brought like all my music stuff and like my recording stuff. So I brought all my music stuff and I like recorded 9 to 5 there. And then I like started recording Archenemy. So Archenemy was actually the song that I worked on for my Berkeley course, the online course. Mm-hmm. And that's the course I took it in Tokyo. So like it all kind of like meshed together. Like I was working on 9 to 5 and Archenemy, and then I finished the track here, but I started it there.
And how was the experience like living in a city like Tokyo?
Well, I think I got a kind of different experience than like you would normally, because like there was like so few people. I mean, there was still a lot of people, but like in comparison to like the normality of Tokyo, it was like very few. Mm-hmm. So it was interesting. It was kind of sad because like nothing I wanted to do was like open, and like all the museums and stuff were like closed, so that kind of sucked. But like overall, I just love the city so much. Like it's such a I really love like Japan like as a whole. I just really like I'll go back eventually. I really loved it.
What inspires you to write a song? Like where do you like get the inspiration for your songs from?
It comes from a lot of various different things. Like I have a lot of different methods that I use. Sometimes I like to use, have you heard of Lander? It's like a sample software. Basically it's this website you go on, you can play like different sounds and like samples and stuff, and I'll just like let one play and then I'll just kind of like sing to it, write to it, and I might not even use it like in the final product, but just to like have something to like kind of sing to and like freestyle to almost. And then like in other circumstances I'll like write like a little entry in my phone in my like notes section and just like how I'm feeling, and later I'll turn that into a song. And then sometimes I just start with like chords and like I like see what's like pretty or what like sparks like a little like little butterflies in my diaphragm. So it's different like all the time.
Okay. It's pretty cool.
What about you?
My songwriting process or my writing process?
Both.
Yeah, I don't know. Songwriting process is just, I don't know, if I feel it's usually night, like if I have too many feelings and I don't, like writing a book is different than writing lyrics. Like writing a book, you have your characters and you kind of have to follow the plot, but and you can hide your feelings behind the character, but you can't really like say, oh, this is my feelings. And sometimes you need to like say that these are my feelings. So I'm kind of sitting that down and taking a notebook and then listening sometimes to music and then just writing down everything.
Right.
Nice. Sometimes rhyming it. The rhymezone.com.
Yes. Rhyme zone always comes in handy when you're like struggling.
yes. So I sometimes rhyme it, and since I'm kind of like saying I will put out some of the lyrics as a poetry book. I'm not into rhyming anymore because I'm not saying like it's it doesn't have to be a song. Like, just write down like 3 lines and you say it's this text,
Yeah.
and then I just, if I want to like put it into words or like into music, then I'm sitting down on my piano and recording it all in voice note, and then I'm
Yeah, I do the same thing,
playing chords and that stuff. My writing process is I don't know, like, do you know Panzer and Blotter?
Don't think so, no.
Okay. It's kind of like a writer's term. Like, there are 2 different kind of writers. There are the Panzer and the Blotter. And the Blotter kind of plans out his entire plot, before starting actually writing his book.
Okay.
And the Panzer is just sitting down and writing, and I'm the Panzer. So I'm like,
same. Yeah, same.
I just sit down and write, and that's why, because every time, like, my brother is an entrepreneur and he wants to write books, and sometimes he has the idea of writing a book, and then he's kind of saying like, yeah, what are you doing to write? And I'm like, I just sit down and write. Like, yeah, I can help you. Like, if I would be a plotter, I could help him, but I'm not.
Yeah, so, I relate to that too. Like, I can't, like, it's hard for me to like be like, this is gonna happen and then this is gonna happen,
Yes. Or sometimes as a Panzer, when you're like, I don't know, if you're like really in the writing process, like if you have like a daily writing structure that I have right now because I have a deadline, like I built my own deadline.
Nice.
So then you're writing daily to get it finished, and then you in the book, like then you're dreaming about the book and that stuff, and then you kind of knowing what's happened next, but you don't want to like say like, you don't want to hold on to it, so you just sitting down and thinking like maybe another idea comes from, or sometimes the characters are just doing what they do. That's the weirdest part about writing books. Like, sometimes the characters just, I don't know, choose a different way as you wanted them to do.
Interesting. So it just kind of like comes to you, you're just like, and they do this.
No, I don't know, it feels like if I'm writing, it feels like they are living and they are choosing a way or something. For example, I mean, like people from the outside, like you saying like, yeah, you decide that, but like by writing it, you just, I don't know, these are just 2 people, like 2 realistic people, and they do what they do.
Yeah.
It's playing like, it's like playing Sims, but they don't do your action you gave them.
Right. They have a mind of their own.
Yeah. To your podcast.
Oh yes.
It's called it's called Mind.
Yeah, Mind Edibles. Yeah.
What is it about?
Well, me and my friend wanted to just like talk about like, I don't know, things that we're like passionate about, I guess. So like in like feminism and like environmentalism and climate change and all this kind of stuff. We haven't done too many episodes like that, which is funny. We're just kind of like being silly and like goofing off and doing whatever, but it's fun regardless of like if it gets like traction like your podcast or whatever, but it's fun. Like, it's I feel like you can relate to this. You can like you kind of like, I guess you're good to just like talk about those kind of things, like, and like chat about different topics. So yeah.
What are your plans in the future
for the podcast, or just like, just in general?
Yeah.
Well, I've got to get another job because the pandemic has kind of like messed my life up. I came back from Japan. I was like, what am I doing? So got to get another job. I've got to take my music more seriously. I think I have a release plan that I'm working on. So I'm going to be releasing like a ton more music than I have in the past. As you can see, I like took breaks and I like posted like only 1 song a year, but I'm going to be doing it more consistently. So that's my plan.
Okay. That sounds cool. Like, are you working on an album? Because you were like on your Spotify page, there was standing something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
Oh, and I've like then Archenemy in it, or like the fuck.
Yes.
So exciting.
I know, I'm so excited too.